Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Curriculum and Technical Support Team live stream for the week. For anyone new here, we would love you to, actually for anyone, we want everyone to introduce yourself in the chat. Type in your name, please, and your location. We love to see who you are, where you're joining us from. And for anyone new, we support the Get Focused, Stay Focused programs using the Career Choices Series curriculum. So my name is Chris Powell, and we also have Brooke Owen with us as always. Hello, Brooke.
Hey, everyone.
Hopefully everyone had a great 2/22/22 yesterday.
That
Pretty
was
cool
fun.
date there. But today is just as cool, 2/23/22. It's a palindrome.
Yep.
So all the days this week are going to be palindromes. So pretty cool stuff. So let's get started with the News Minute, shall we?
All right. First, we're going to say hi to Spencer really quickly. Hi, Spencer.
Hello, Spencer.
Snowy southern Utah. That's unusual. Chris, is there snow where you're at?
Not where I'm at, but Spencer is a little higher in the mountains than me. We
Ah,
got a
that's
little
right.
we got a little bit today, but nothing that stuck.
We get a little bit today, too, but that's a little bit more normal where I'm at.
Yeah.
So, anyway, yes, let's start with the News Minute.
Okay, we just wanted to remind everyone about the link that you'll get at the end of the live stream with the intent to apply to become a medal school. Those are happening right now. So if you haven't applied to become a Career Choices Medal School and you would like to, look for that link that will be in the comments after this is done. And we would love to interview you and talk to you about your program, how things are going, how we can help. And as for the newsletter, we wanted to touch on a few things in the newsletter. The resource of the week this week, it is an article from the Learning Policy Institute called Educator Learning to Enact the Science of Learning and Development. It sounds like a mouthful. There's a lot of research terminology in this article, but we just wanted to highlight a couple points, and hopefully you'll take the time to go learn this. It's pretty cool stuff. It's all about how the research has advanced in neuroscience and the developmental and learning sciences. And the point that they're trying to make is educators should learn the same way that they teach their students how to learn to maximize everyone's learning and development. And so one of the points I wanted to highlight is one of the bullet points towards the beginning. It says, human relationships, this is one of the things they found out in the research, human relationships catalyze healthy development and learning. And that is one of the reasons why I think the career choices curriculum is so effective, is because when you have your best teachers teaching this course and they are willing to open up to their students and build trust with them and talk about things that normally aren't talked about in a classroom setting, and you build that really strong relationship, then the students open up and they're able to learn more and they develop and they understand the concepts. So I loved that part of the article because it really, to me, it proves one of the reasons why our curriculum is so effective is because of that relationship between teacher and student.
Yeah, and it builds it in a safe way so that the teachers can provide that healthy learning environment while maintaining, healthy boundaries.
Definitely. Yep. And yeah, that was another point in the article about, there's a lot going on in the world right now. And so if a student is coming to your classroom and they don't feel safe there, they don't feel comfortable opening up, talking about things, they're not going to learn. They're not going to develop. So yeah, make your classroom a safe place for your students where they feel comfortable and especially around you as an educator and being willing to talk about these things as they're planning for their future. And you'll see tremendous growth and success with them.
Yeah.
So check out the rest of that article and look at all the different points that they found in their research. We also, anyone new here, if you have not signed up for the newsletter, we will have that link for you as well at the end in the comments. And one of the things we also wanted to point out, which we will for the next little while, is the absolutely free Get Focused, Stay Focused virtual conference. It is happening on March 10th, which is a Thursday. It's all day. We have the asynchronous Zoom sessions. So register for the conference. It's absolutely free. You can join us live. If you aren't able to join us live, then you will still have access to every single session, which will be recorded. You'll have access to all of those afterwards.
Yeah, so make sure that you sign up, because even if you can't attend at that time, you'll still be able to access it.
Yeah, it's a great conference. This is the third virtual one I think we've done.
I think, yes.
We started in 2020. So lots and lots of valuable information that you will learn, not only about Get Focused, Stay Focused, and career choices, but other topics that will help you as you're teaching your students. Okay, that was a good news minute. Should we jump into the content now?
Yes, so today we are going back to chapter 9. I'm really excited about this. Chris and I have been talking about this almost nonstop, because this chapter is so applicable. And actually, Deb, shout out, thank you for showing up. I would like to mention a comment that she made specifically in regards to the article we were talking about, but this goes towards what we're talking about today. Like, the students have all of the same fears that we're experiencing as adults, only they're trying to figure out what their life is going to look like in the future, and
that's true.
That there's so many other layers to it for them. So thank you, Deb, for pointing that out. Today we're going to specifically be talking about the activity called Before You Give Up Your Dream. And this week, really, as I was contemplating what we were going to be talking about today, this one just really hit me hard. And it's not a large activity. It's not one we really ever talk much about as far as support goes, because it's just one little activity in this really jam-packed chapter, right?
Right. And I just realized I failed to mention the 3 reasons why everyone should stay through the end of the webinar. One of those, it has to do with this chapter, or with this activity. One of the main reasons this course is effective in helping students reach their dreams. And so we'll talk about that as we go through the content here. But yeah, Brooke and I have been talking about this quite a bit. And I love this activity as well. It's from chapter 9, called Avoiding Detours and Roadblocks. And it's very personal to me. I think a lot of this can directly be applied to my life. So not only in helping your students not give up on their dreams, but think about your own dreams as an adult. Is there anything out there that you've given up on for whatever reason? And you'll be happy if you work for that dream and reach for those goals. And so me personally, I have always wanted to be a children's book author. I have books that I've written. I've had friends edit them, give me tips and pointers. I've submitted it to a few publishing companies and have been rejected. And I think I'm putting my own detours and roadblocks in the way. I think about it all the time. I still want to get this book, this one that I've worked hardest on. I really want to get this book published, but I have not done what I need to get it done. So in a way, I'm giving up on that dream by putting these detours and roadblocks in my own way. So what can we do about that, Brooke? What is this activity going to help students with?
Yeah, so this activity really talks about the I don't want to say the consequences of giving up your dreams, but really about what it means, and if you're really giving up your dreams for a viable reason or not. Something that we've discussed this week, Chris, is there are dreams that I've given up on for legitimate reasons. Mm-hmm. I've grown out of them. They don't fit in my life anymore. And I may go back to them eventually, but like you were talking about, if that dream is something that will not leave you alone, like
Yep.
your book, and and we've discussed plans on how to get that, done sooner rather than later, right?
Yep.
um but the difference between giving up a dream that is your real dream, and giving up dreams for reasons that are um not viable, but they can seem viable, right? So a lot of this, and it talks about it in the online class agenda, so I'm actually going to go ahead and share that right now. But it talks about, and the conversation suggestions talk about balancing career and blending career and family. So what is more important to you, as is a career, is the family? And if they're both important, figure out a way to make it happen. Something that we've talked about a lot this week is, you know, nothing is easy as an adult. If you have an easy life, I would really like to talk to you, especially right now, because I just don't think that it exists. And so, what's the difference between having a hard life that you are doing something that you love and that you're invested in, and having a hard life that you kind of fell into by default because you gave up on those dreams that you had?
Yeah, I loved how you put that earlier when we were discussing off camera. And I think that right there, that's one of the main reasons why this course is so effective, is
Mhm.
because through this activity and other activities in the curriculum, we can teach that to the students that yes, your life is going to be hard. No matter, life requires hard work. So as you said, are you going to work hard at something you want to do, or work hard at something that just fell in your lap because you didn't work for your dreams? So, and back to balancing career and family. Another personal example. I know I'm talking about me a lot today, so sorry about that. But um, my wife is a nurse in a NICU. That was her passion in college. She wanted to save babies, and I think it's a very noble passion. I love it, and I support her and everything. But we also had a strong passion on having a big family. We wanted a large family. We have 5 kids, and so sometimes it's hard to balance having a mom be a nurse, a full-time nurse, where you can't just leave at the drop of a hat, and then having 5 kids to take care of. So it's been tricky. It's been a balance. We've had to work on those different aspects of our lives. Luckily, I'm in a career that's pretty flexible, where I can work from home sometimes if I need to, or I can leave at the drop of a hat if there's some sort of emergency that I need to go take care of the kids. And this sort of career allows me to do that. So we encourage you to, when you're doing this activity with your students, maybe invite someone in who has a lot of experience balancing career and family, and just get those different perspectives and show that yes, it can be done. With a lot of hard work, it can be done. You can live your dreams. My wife loves her job. She loves saving babies, and we've made it work. We've made it work with having her working so much. So definitely recommend you do that. Find someone in the community that you can bring in and talk about those experiences.
Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that, Chris, because it's a beautiful example of exactly what this activity is talking about. If you read through all of the examples in the activity, it your example is perfect for it's a perfect example about how you guys have made it work. And not having to give up your dreams, your wife being able to have both because you guys have worked together to do that.
Yep.
you know um and so I love your example because I don't know, you're a success story, I guess. Like, it's so inspiring to see how that works, and that it can work, and you don't have to give up your dreams just because you want a family, which is a huge portion of this section.
Yep.
You can have both. It's just going to be hard work. But again, going back, do you want hard work that gives you what you want, or hard work that gives you what you get?
Yep. Exactly. So with that, there is an activity in the instructor's guide that goes through this. It's called the Fishbowl Activity.
Yeah, I really, really liked this one because you're using the students' things. So bringing in an adult, talking about adult situations. And by the way, I would like to, Spencer gave you a shout out. Thank you so much, Chris, for sharing.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you for that, Spencer.
and then Linda also commented that it's never too old to change your career or occupation, which again is something that I love about this curriculum because it's applicable for everybody. But this example in the instructor's guide specifically has you request the students volunteer. And again, this is volunteer. We don't force any sharing because that's not a healthy, safe environment. But you have the students volunteer volunteer a dream that they're considering giving up. And then you have the entire class brainstorm ways that they can make it work.
Yeah, and there's some suggested questions in the textbook on page 215. And this is a good time for a little side comment. We haven't really mentioned career choices and changes very
Yes.
often on the live stream, but we wanted everyone to know there is another version of career choices called career choices and changes that a lot of high schools use. It was originally designed for college level, which the colleges still do use this, but a lot of high schools are using it now as well for dual enrollment. If you're working with a local college in your area, the stories are written at a little higher reading level, a little more college level and adult examples in the stories. But so you can find this on page 215 in the high school version of the textbook or the college version. So if anyone has any questions about either of those, let us know and we'd love to tell you more about it. But I love the suggested questions for this activity in the Fishbowl Activity, where you have the students ask these questions and talk about it and see, as you said, how they can overcome these obstacles that they've put in their way and still work on that dream and not give it up. So like, what was your dream? How long did you hold it? When did you decide to give it up? Why? What is your new dream? That sort of stuff. Is there evidence that supports why you should give it up, or is it just something you put on yourself? So really good I can't say that word today, suggested questions on page 215 in the textbook. So look for those.
Yeah, I absolutely love. Again, this activity just has been sticking with me ever since I started preparing for it right after last week's live stream, because it is so important for everybody. Really looking at the reasons you're giving up and being honest with yourself about, but really, is that
Mhm.
really a reason? And if it is, great. Like I said, I have things in my life that I've moved on, dreams in my life that I've moved on from, and there's nothing wrong with that. Like Linda says, you're never too old to change your dreams.
Yeah,
As long as you're changing them because you're growing as a person and you're changing as a person, and not because it's getting hard.
right. And one of the other things in the activity that I love that it points out is sometimes the thing that is making you give up your dream is just fear or anxiety and not wanting to go through failure, something like that, which I can totally relate to. You know, I've submitted my book to a couple different companies now, and I was rejected both times. It's not fun to be rejected. So I can wallow in self-pity, or I can take their suggestions, keep working on it, and keep trying. And so that's the kind of grit and stuff that we want the students to understand as well, and not give up on those dreams.
Yeah, one of the greatest examples I've ever heard of from an author actually was their goal was to get 100 rejection letters in a year, and I think they made it to like 80 something, and finally somebody actually submitted it, and they were a little bit, obviously they were elated because they got their book accepted, but they were a little bit disappointed because they didn't quite make their goal.
Well, that is a
But
really good idea.
because then it takes away the fear out. How can you circumvent that fear? and being able to turn it into something that helps you instead of paralyzes you.
Yeah, definitely. Odds are you're going to be rejected many times before it is accepted, so you might as well turn it into something positive. So I love that example.
Yeah, my favorite is Dane Blanton. Once at one of our Focus on Freshmen conferences, said that he had only won a ridiculously small percentage of his games. It was what 4% of his
Yeah,
games, somewhere around there. I should have looked it up ahead of time, but I love the fact that he's like, it was less than 10% of his games that he had won, and he's an Olympic gold medalist. He's like, he made it. He was, he was the best.
yeah,
Um, and he still only won a very small fraction of his games. He lost way more than he won,
yeah.
but he won when it mattered.
Yep, and that's all that matters.
So yeah, I
That
love that example.
that reminds me of one of the excerpts in Possibilities. Um, there's three of them this week that have to do with the activity of before you give up your dreams. And the one I wanted to mention is from Robert Fulghum. I think everyone has heard his All I Really Need to Know I Learned in Kindergarten. I think it's been around for a long, long time and people refer to it quite often. But the part that's in Possibilities on page 216 is he is relating a hilarious story about a woman who walks into a spider web, and she is freaking out about walking into the spider web. And so he gives us her perspective, but he also gives us the spider's perspective on what the spider is possibly thinking of what in the world is going on here. And the spider had just got done building this web, and all of a sudden it's destroyed. What's the spider going to do now? And he relates it to um, the favorite children's song, the Eensy Weensy Spider. And everyone knows how it goes. It went up the water spout. The motions
Yep.
also. Yep. Down came the rain, washed the spider out. Out came the sun and dried up all the rain. And what did he do? He went up the spout again. So he didn't let it crush his dreams. He learned from it, and he just did it again. And so I love that example on something very fun that you can use with the students to help them understand this concept of not giving up your dreams.
Yeah, I love that. And we're running a little bit short of time, but there are two other things from Possibilities I wanted to point out. It's they're called A Dream Deferred by Langston Hughes. They're both really short poems, and then A Noiseless Patient Spider by Walt Whitman.
2 spiders in 1 week.
Yeah, a lot of spider stories. Apparently, spiders have a lot of what's that? There's a Disney movie with the song called "Stick to Activity."
Oh yeah.
I don't even remember what that is. Anyway, spiders are a great example of persistence, apparently.
Yes, they are.
So yeah, go ahead and check those out in Possibilities. If you don't have a copy of Possibilities, contact us or your educational consultant, and you can get a copy. And lastly, I would like to point out we have some resources from the Teachers Lounge, and let me pull those up on the screen here. So there are 2 slide presentations by Nicole Stewart. And so what they are is they're really gorgeous slides that she put together talking specifically about the roadblocks that are in the text and what you can control topics that are in the text. So those are really cool. Check that out. If you don't have your Teachers Lounge login, let us know. We will get you on and get you access to that because it's an amazing resource.
Yep, Nicole always has so much to share. So many good examples from her lessons.
Absolutely. And then last but not least, we would like to open for any questions that anybody may have. At this time, if you've jumped on since we started, give us a shout out, say hi, let us know where you're from. And if you have any questions regarding the curriculum, Chris and I are your curriculum support team, so we're both here and we would love to talk about any part of it or any questions you have about today.
Yeah, so type your questions in the chat. Even if it's after the fact, type them into the comments and we'll still see them, and we would love to chat with you.
Yeah. While we're waiting for our questions, I would like to remind everybody that March 8th, we have our best practice highlight webinar. And we will be talking about forming a team of champions, which is something that is really important for all of our middle schools. And if you don't know what I'm saying when I say middle schools, it's metal, not metal.
Yep.
And drop me an email, because our metal program is really important in helping program sustainability and effectiveness. So we're here to help you. And then the week after our best practice highlight webinar, we have our Tips Tuesday, where we will discuss, is it worth staying in school? Which I love that topic. So we may also discuss it a little bit on here in the next couple of weeks. We'll have to see. But definitely come to that, because we really do a deep dive on all of this stuff that we kind of surface discuss here on the live stream.
Yep, those webinars are always fun. We hope to see everyone there, and we can chat with you a little more one-on-one.
Yes. So we actually did get a question. Thank you so much, Spencer. We love your questions. Is possibilities only for an English language arts classes? And the answer is no. One of the best ways that we, or most effective ways that we have teachers use this anthology is as substitute material, because it's very difficult to have a substitute come into this course and be able to just jump in, because as we were discussing and we have discussed the whole day, this course really involves a lot of self-disclosure and trust. And so to throw a someone who's not familiar with the course and not familiar with your classes in can seem a little bit unproductive. Mm-hmm. But if you find these activities that we talk about in these live streams and pick the activity that goes along with where you're at, the students don't have to lose ground. You're then using these stories as those substitute lessons.
Yeah, and they really reinforce the topics in the textbook. So perfect opportunity for substitutes.
Yeah. So thank you, Spencer. Fabulous question. And with that, I think we are going to wrap up the day. We have our contact information here. We'll also include it in the chat after we're done, in the comments.
Yep. And thank you all for joining us. Hopefully we'll see you on the webinars. And more importantly, hopefully we see you here next week, same time, same place. Check your notifications on your social media pages. Make sure you click the notifications so you can know when we're going live, and then it's a lot easier to just jump on that way.
Yes. Thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you guys next week.
See you later.